Hello everyone, tonight we're playing along with Craft Roulette. Our project is 5x7 card, formal and informal. We need element of warmth and crisscross. Now I immediately thought of this paper when I was thinking of formal and informal. This Recollections paper pad, it kind of puts me in the mind of wedding theme type paper that you would use for a wedding card. And so I immediately was thinking formal and informal. This black and white to me, I think black and white is kind of a formal color anyway. And then I also decided to bring in my informal pattern, and I'm going to use this animal print. And I guess I'm thinking of animal print as informal. So that'll take care of the formal and the informal parameters that we're on the wheel tonight that we need to get on our card. So I'm just cutting them down. I think I cut a 4.5 by 6.5 on the black and white layer, and then I cut the animal print to the 5x7, and we'll just cover the full 5x7 card base. So I just took my hammer mill cardstock and I cut a 10 by 7 inch piece, and then I scored at the 5-inch mark, and then that made my 5x7 card base. I don't make 5x7 cards very often, and so when it come up on the wheel, I thought, well, here we go. We're going to make one tonight. So I'm going to lay that black and white down directly on top of that animal print pattern and just use my glue press and get it laid down. Now, originally when I made this card, I wasn't sure I was even going to submit it or upload the video, and then I went ahead and made the video and everything and did the editing, and I was thinking about not submitting it and maybe doing another card. In fact, I did make a second card. Didn't like it that much either. It was okay, but then I thought, you know what? I've got this one made and I've got the video. Let's go ahead and submit it. So here I'm just taking one of those sheets that has a bunch of strips, and I'm cutting the strips apart, thinking that I might use some of them, and I'm going to just cut them. And I like the multi-line strip there too, and then I'm taking the cut aparts and cutting them apart, thinking I might use one of those on my card as well. I think when you get used to using an A2 size card, it's a little bit different doing a 5x7. I have A2 matting basic dies. I've got layered dies that are suited for A2 cards, but I don't have dies that are suited for the 5x7. So basically had to use my paper trimmer on everything. So I decided to use this golden black strip here that I had cut away. I just angled one end of it, and I'm just going to lay it down there on that angle and just put it across there. And this is what I'm going to call my crisscross because my gold is crossing my black stripes. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm bringing in this piece of heavy-duty cardstock here, and I'm laying it on my pattern paper and making my cut with my craft knife so that I don't cut my pattern paper that is underneath there. And then when I cut it, then it gives me the right angle for the top. And so then I'll just lay that down on there, and then I'll make a cut again. And then when I cut the top, it's going to give me the correct angle to go back down to the bottom, and then I can just alternate. So I'm just putting a couple stripes on each corner of this 5x7 card. And I've done this cutting like this with my craft knife before on some of the other cards where you lay a piece of paper behind it and it keeps you from cutting your pattern paper. Seems to work pretty well. I like doing that. Usually I do that when I should lay the strips down before I glue the pattern paper on my card base, and so you have to figure out a way to cut it after you've got it down there. And this is my go-to way to do that. I think it seems to work. So there we go. We've got black and white, and we've got gold stripes that are crisscrossing it. And this is where I start grabbing everything and looking at it, trying to decide what's going to work on here. And the circle with the butterfly I liked real well, but I didn't have a die that could cut it out because of the butterfly. And then the shape of the square. Now I rotate this card and decide, I think I like it rotated better. I'm bringing in that other stripe that I liked and holding it up, but I ultimately don't decide to use that. So I'm just kind of fiddling around trying to decide what I wanted to do, and I thought, surely I've got a sentiment somewhere that has warmest on it. And earlier in the evening I had the Sending Sentiments set from Spellbinders. I had done a bunch of stamping and die cutting, and I got in there and it did have the warmest thanks. So I'm going to be sending the warmest thanks, and that's going to cover my warm element. Now here I'm just taking a Jelly Roll pen and I'm kind of cleaning it up. I think I might have smushed a little hard on that and so I'll just clean it up real nice, and then I'll be able to use it. And now I'm looking at some other cut aparts thinking, would these fit? And I don't find anything that fits. I get my circle die and I'm thinking I'm going to use that, and I'm still mulling it over trying to decide what to do. And I've decided I'm going to take my glossy accents and I'm going to go all over the black on that sending and just kind of gloss that up. And while I do that, it also darkens it, and I like that it does that. So I'll spend a good amount of time here putting the glossy accents down on there and trying to get it smooth. I don't know if you guys have good luck with getting your glossy accents real smooth. It'll settle and smooth out a little bit, but you need to get a nice even amount on there. So that's what I'm trying to do. Going to lay it aside and let it dry while I contemplate what I'm going to do for the center of that. And I'm still looking at it, and I'm thinking what I want to do. There's the warmest thanks part of my sentiment I've laid up there. Now I've die cut out a bunch of circles. I mean, more than what you're seeing. I did all kinds of circles in different sizes and colors trying to figure out what I wanted to lay on there. Ultimately, I land on this layering with the pink and the white with the pink. And they're just nested dies. Those are cat scrappiness dies. And I love those dies, but I just couldn't figure out what would work exactly right on this. Excuse me, I had to pause there for a minute to cough. So I'm just going to layer this up and get it laid down on my card base. And I'm trying to decide, is this going to be enough? Do I need, is there anything I could put on there beside the sentiment? And I decide that each of these pieces of paper in this Recollections pattern pack have a strip along the top of them of some color that coordinates with all the papers that are in there. And I just took that strip and used it as a shadow for that sentiment, and I laid it down on there. And I'm going to lay my sending there in the center, and then put the warmest thanks below it. Excuse me. Man, I'm getting really stuffy. So I'm having a hard time kind of talking and not coughing. So I've decided this is a really pretty flat card. So I'm just going to grab some of this foam tape and just pop this circle up a little bit just to give it just a little bit of dimension. And so I'll just lay 3 strips of tape down there and give it some dimension. And then we'll just get this laid down in the center area, kind of how I had it positioned there. And then we'll bring in our sending, and we'll get it laid down on there. And then we'll bring in our sentiment, the rest of our sentiment. So I'm noticing my G isn't sticking up. And if you notice, I've been laying that glue press right there on my desk and not putting it on the stand. If I had put it on the stand, I wouldn't be having that problem with it. So I'm going to get my sentiment, get it laid down. I know that because of my layers, I'm going to have to add a little bit of foam tape on that one side just to help even it up. Get some tape on there and get it stuck down on there. And we've got our sentiment. And I mean, I guess it could be a nice thank you card. Maybe it would be a thank you card for a wedding gift. I don't know. Anyway, so I've got these Spellbinders enamel dots that are black. I'd gotten those for Christmas from Spellbinders as a gift for being a club member. And I laid a couple of those enamel dots down there, and I'm trying to straighten that sentiment up, make sure it looks like it's straight. And I'm still looking at it, trying to decide if I like it, you know, what else it needs. And I just decide that I'm going to add some additional enamel dots to it. And so I'm just going to grab 3 more of those enamel dots and lay it on the upper left side. And that will finish off my card. So I hope you like it. I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoy Craft Roulette. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.